The odds of someone in the random U.S. population having the same combination of 5 genotypes tested was 1 in 14,925.
The match was fairly significant in that, that's a small community there, so it's unlikely that too many people are going to be walking around with a similar DNA pattern.
Despite this second DNA test, the prosecution refused once again to drop their case against Paula Nawrocki. During the trial, the prosecution presented the circumstantial evidence against Paula Nawrocki, including the coffee cup incident and the Colonel Klink reference in one of the threatening letters. For the defense, teachers from Joanne Chambers' former school district testified that she made similar claims of harassment years earlier. But it was the DNA evidence that stunned most courtroom observers.
The DNA was definitely the bombshell. To hear that Joanne Chambers' saliva was found on the stamps of one of the threatening letters and the flap of another envelope, it was just unbelievable.
But on the witness stand, under oath, Joanne Chambers had an explanation. She said the prosecutor left her alone with the evidence and the stamps fell off one of the envelopes. She said she licked the stamps to reattach them, and when that didn't work, used a glue stick.
At the very least, she showed poor judgment, and at the most, she tampered with important evidence.
The prosecution offered no explanation for why Joanne Chambers was left alone with the evidence, and no explanation was given for why her DNA was also found on the envelope flap. Dr. Lichtenwallner testified that she saw no glue stick residue on the stamps when she removed them for DNA testing. As a lifelong stamp collector, she has experience distinguishing glue stick residue from regular stamp adhesive.
I know gum from knowing stamps, and it looked to me just like the gum on recent U.S. stamps. And it's smooth and glistening, and it looked just like that. There was no outward evidence that a glue stick had been used.
The trial lasted 5 days, and it took the jury less than 2 hours to reach a verdict. They found Paula Nawrocki not guilty.
Reaction after the verdict was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. The alleged victim was being treated as the defendant, and the defendant was being treated as the victim. In the hallway, jurors sought out Paula Nawrocki and hugged her and told her how much they loved her, while Joanne Chambers left the courthouse virtually ignored.
Joanne Chambers denies that she created the campaign of threats against her.